You may be seeing a lot of people wearing masks lately and wondering why. Masks are here to help us. They help prevent the spread of some germs from person to person or your family and friends.
We wear masks because we care about you.
Think of your mask like a superhero cape. It helps you save others from getting sick by protecting them from the spread of some germs and viruses. We can stay safe and healthy. Be a masked hero with Cincinnati Children's.
VRDP Mask.
A buyer from Brazil and a seller from Malaysia enters into a contract to buy masks due to the increase in COVID-19 cases. For your information, Brazil is a contracting party of CISG, but Malaysia is not. Although Malaysia does not ratify CISG, both the buyer and seller agreed to follow the terms of CISG when signing the contract. Now, let's have a look how the process goes.
Straddling the equator and dominating the eastern half of South America, Brazil is Latin America's largest economy and the 9th largest economy in the world. Home to over 200 million potential customers, Brazil is an important market for American exporters. Bordering 10 other countries in South America, Brazil can serve as a good springboard into the continent's other markets. Keep in mind, however, that Brazilians speak Portuguese, not Spanish. Strong sectors for American products include aviation and defense, energy, infrastructure, healthcare IT and medical devices, and services. Of course, there are also challenges when doing business in Brazil. After years of strong economic growth, political challenges and lower demand for natural resources have recently cooled the economy a bit. High tariffs and taxes also increase the cost of imported goods, while spotty infrastructure and development can make logistics a challenge. With 5 offices and many experts in country, the U.S. Commercial Service can help American exporters build those relationships and navigate logistical obstacles. The offices are located in Belo Horizonte, Brasilia, Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, and Recife. Obviously, there's much more to Brazil than Carnival and Copacabana.
Hello, VRDP Mask. How can I help you?
Hello, is this VRPD Mask? I'm calling from Brazil and I'm interested in buying your mask. Could you please send me the details?
Thanks for your interest to purchase with us, sir. So I'll send you the quotation and the details of the contract.
Send me the details as soon as possible. Thank you.
Have a good day, sir. Bye. Let's look at the brief description of the import and export procedure for both the countries. Let's start off with Brazil. Firstly, the foreign exporters and the Brazilian importers must register with the Foreign Trade Secretariat. Then, they need to obtain a radar license. License applications must be submitted to the tax authorities and the type of license is determined after a review of the financial capacities of the company. Import tax include the import duty, the merchandise and service circulation tax, and the Brazilian Federal Value Added Tax on manufactured products, also known as IPI. The IPI is not considered a cost for the importer since the value is credited back to the importer. That's all for the Brazilian.
Now, let's move on to Malaysia. So, the step 1 would be custom declaration. Step 2 would be classification of goods. Moving to the step 3, checking whether the items are controlled goods or prohibited goods. Step 4 would be declaration and preparation of documents for custom release. Step 5 will be examination of goods. Step 6 would be payment of duties. Step 7 would be customs approval. Step 8 would be custom release. And the last one would be keeping of documents for 7 years in Malaysia unless the Director General is subject to any conditions imposed by it. Okay, seller, can you confirm my order details?
Sure, sir. So your order will be 3-ply single-use face mask with blue color on the outer part and white color in the inner part. The mask will be 17 cm and the elastic string will be 3.5 mm. As for packaging, there will be 50 pieces in each box. And just like you have requested, the 2,500,000 boxes will be packed into 5,000 big boxes containing 500 boxes of masks in each.
Perfect. The price is $4 for each box, right?
Yes, sir. So your order will be $10 million.
So when will you start the process?
We will start it 2 to 3 days within order confirmation, and you will receive it by sea transportation in a ship.
Great. Then let's make an FOB contract and make the payment through letter of credit.
Yes, sir. It is perfect. Thank you. Contract of carriage and insurance. The buyer enters into a contract of carriage with shipmaster to ship the goods from Port Klang, Malaysia to Port Victoria, Brazil. The contract of carriage is governed by Hague rules. The contract entered by the buyer is a bill of lading contract in which he booked one hole in the ship. The ship then agreed to arrive at the shipment port on March 10. Before signing the contract of carriage with the shipmaster, the buyer ensured that the ship is seaworthy to transport all the masks in a good condition from Malaysia to Brazil. Now, the buyer enters into another contract with the insurance agent to insure the goods. This will help him to claim money from the insurance agent if the goods did not reach in a good condition or if it went missing before reaching its destination. After signing both the contracts, the buyer now nominate the port of shipment and vessel to the seller and send the notice of readiness that states the arrival date of the ship. Once the seller receives the notice of readiness, he will start preparing and packing the goods. Now, the shipper is known as the consignor and the buyer is known as the consignee. On the shipment day, the seller will load the goods into the ship. Once the goods pass the ship rail, it is now the buyer's responsibility and not the seller's. But before that, the seller needs to ensure the ship is seaworthy to ensure the mask will reach the buyer in a good condition. A meets receipt will be issued to the shipper. The meets receipt is then submitted to the shipping company to be transformed into bill of lading and handed back to the shipper. Contract of payment. When the goods were sent for shipment, buyer issues letter of credit through his bank. In this case, Banco do Brasil is the issuing bank. Letter of credit is issued so that the buyer knows the goods sent by the seller comply with the descriptions in the contract, and for the seller to know that the buyer has the required amount of money in his account to pay the seller. In the letter of credit, the buyer stated that he needs the bill of lading, packing list, commercial invoice, certificate of origin, and also the insurance documents. The issuing bank will now contact the advising bank regarding the letter of credit. In this case, Maybank is the advising bank. Now, the seller needs to provide the bill of lading, packing list, commercial invoice, certificate of origin, and also the insurance document to Maybank. Maybank will check the documents and make sure it matches with the contract of sale. Once they found out that the contract of sale and the documents sent by the seller matches, they will pay the seller the $10 million. Maybank will then alert Banco do Brasil about the payment released, and Banco do Brasil will then pay Maybank back. Lastly, Banco do Brasil will ask the buyer to pay it back the amount of $10 million. Thank you for watching. We hope you get a brief idea on how CISG actually works. Also, don't forget to always put your mask on.